Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today I am going to plant some summer annuals that are going to take us into fall and give us those fall vibes. Even though it is mid-August in North Carolina, the humidity is like 100%. The dew point is in the tropical range. It is hotter than hot. It's not that hot, it is sticky. It is so sticky, my friends, that even a ponytail is too much. So I have pulled up my hair as close to my head as I possibly can. All that being said, we are going to plant some gorgeous annuals, summer annuals. You think of planting these in the spring or early summer. I am going to plant them in late summer. That's going to take me into fall. That is going to give me all of the fall vibes, because I am convinced that if we plan accordingly and we act like the cooler temperatures are coming, like we decorate for fall, we start doing all these fall things, then the weather has to cooperate, right? Right, that is what we are going to go for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a collection of those summer annuals together. We're going to plant them individually, but we are going to place them as a collection on our front steps. Because, as most of you know, this front area is going to be going through a massive renovation. So we are going to be tearing things up all over the place. And so by putting these in individual pots, I can easily move them to the front porch during construction, so that way they won't be in the way. And then when we're done for the day or whatever, I can move them back. Now, I can hear some of you right now saying, "Oh, Jenny, what did you do with your gorgeous bottle rocket caladiums?" Don't fret, my pet. Jerry came through with the Bobcat. We put them in there because those containers are heavy from Unique Stone. So we put them in the Bobcat and moved them to the Emperor One bed. So they're still living their best life. They just got moved because they would be in the way during construction, and it just didn't make sense with the containers that I'm doing. So we move them. They're in a temporary new home for right now until construction is complete. So let's go through and talk about what we're doing, and again, like, why am I doing it? So first of all, let's talk about the plants. So yes, we are going to plant them. Let's do this first so you can kind of understand. I have got, these are what we used to plant our mums in. They're 10-inch terracotta pots. They're plastic, okay? So they're a little dirty. I'm gonna get them cleaned. 10-inch terracotta pots that we're going to plant all of the annuals in. So we're moving them up from a gallon to this size. It's not a huge upgrade, but it will be enough to get them through this time of late summer. We're going to use, of course, our great potting mix, so we have got that. So the plants that we're going to be using today, I'm kind of going for a little bit loosely of that thriller, filler, spiller, right? So in the back, I have got the graceful grasses. This is Fireworks. And y'all, yes, she is green. Fireworks is going to be red, but she's been in the greenhouse, which has UV protection, so it's not getting the full UV light, which is why it's green and not the red. But she's already putting on her sweet little plumes. So we're going to use those. Those are going to be my thrillers, right? So those are the tall ones. We'll put those more towards the back. Then I kind of have a little bit of like some two fillers, if you want to say. So this is the Color Blaze Apple Brandy Coleus. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, stunning. All of these annuals that we're using, minus this caladium over here, were grandes that we moved up to gallons and then like cut them back. The grasses we didn't cut back, but the coleus we did. We pinched them and they are gorgeous. So these can do sun or shade, very adaptable, but very fallish, right? Very beautiful fall colors on that. And it'll kind of bring a little wink and a nudge to my red front door. Then when I was over there, I was like, okay, I want something kind of dark. So I got Plum Dandy. Now Plum Dandy is going to be just another accent plant. Again, right now she's showing a good bit of green, but Plum Dandy will actually be a very dark purple near black. She's green, again, because she's been in the greenhouse with UV protection. She's going to blacken up, darken up really quickly once we get her in that full UV light. So we've got those to bring a nice little contrast. And then you got to have some flowers, right? So one of my all-time favorites is Portulaca. Portulaca is so stinking easy, y'all. These are still in their grande cups, of course, from the spring. They desperately are ready to get out. I actually went ahead and got 3, so I'm gonna do, like, I got 6, so 3 are gonna go in a container, but this is going to give me that pop of color. These are gonna be low and spill over. And having that bright yellow between the yellow Portulaca, this is Mojave yellow, and then the apple brandy, because the vast majority of people do not see our house up close, they see it from a distance. So this yellow is really going to stand out, so you're going to see it from a distance. Love this. So this is drought tolerant, loves the sun. This will go, of course, more down closer to the front, will spill over. Your pollinators love it. Big, beautiful yellow flowers. So there you go. So that is what we're going to do. Then when Jerry and I were moving the bottle rocket caladiums to their new spot, I was like, oh, there's a weed. So I went and grabbed a weed. You know, if you see a weed, pull a weed. And I went and saw a weed, pulled it, and then I saw my midnight oil caladium. And I was like, ooh, she would go great in this arrangement. So what I am going to do, if you will remember, Emily and I took some caladium corms that Proven Winners sent us. Midnight oil is going to be a new introduction for next year. So she is an introduction for 2026 along with creme brulee, but she is the perfect color to go in here with these containers. So what we're going to do, but the pot doesn't match. So what we're going to do is dig up those corms very gently and then repot them in the terracotta, and we're going to use them as well. I'm thinking that instead of using 2 of the plum dandies, I'm going to use 1 plum dandy on one side and the caladium on the other. Or it could be that once I get in there, I have enough caladiums to divide them out into 2 pots. So I might do that. I really don't know. It'll be a game time decision. We'll figure it out there. So, and also that might help. Let's see, 3, 4, 5. That would give me 5 pots on each side. We'll figure it out. Of course, right, we'll just go with it as the mood hits. So why am I doing this? Again, okay, I am in North Carolina. Y'all, we finally have some blue sky. It literally has been raining every day. Not all day, some days it was all day, but it has been raining every day for almost 2 weeks now. And so we have gotten so much rain. It seems like certain parts of the country, you get all the rain for the entire country, and then there's other parts of the country that are like dying for rain. Well, yeah, we've got all your rain. I would be happy to send it to you if I could. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So we are beyond saturated. Sun comes out. The humidity, the dew point just go crazy. Yesterday I was doing a project. I literally had sweat dripping off my nose. Like, that is how disgustingly sticky it is here. So it's not a whole lot of fun. So, but I want to freshen up my garden because there are so many areas that they are just looking rough, y'all. I'm just telling you, like my petunias done. You've seen me rip those out. So certain things are just looking sad, but I want to still have a fresh looking garden, especially on the front of my house, to welcome people, just to welcome our family, to make it look fallish. And so these plants will go into the fall. They will go October, possibly into early November, depends on the first frost and freeze. So I'm trying to bring on the fall vibes, but it's way too hot to actually be planting my fall annuals, like my kale, my mustard, my pansies, violas. They're not even ready yet because it's way too hot. So we're just bringing on these fall colors. So what I'm going to do is I need to go grab my biotone because I forgot that. And we're going to pot them up, clean up this area a little bit, and then get them placed. It's as easy as that. My friends, we have gotten all of the annuals in their new pots. So now I've decided I'm going to go ahead and try to transplant the midnight oil into 2 separate containers. That way both sides of the porch are balanced, and that makes my brain happy. So what I'm going to do is I've got my hoary, and caladiums are grown from corms. It's not, think bulb, but they're technically called a corm. And what I'm going to do is try to ever so gently lift them out of this pot. So it's the first one's always the hardest. It's like cutting a piece of pie, right? The first one's always the hardest because they're kind of connected in there together. Okay, so you can see probably those beautiful roots. Let's see if we can get this to focus. There we go. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and plant them. I'm wondering if they were planted a little too deep, as far as that's why it's taken them a little bit longer to go ahead and germinate, sprout. So what I'm going to do is knock off a little bit of the soil off the top and plant them just kind of at soil level with where they are, and tucking in those roots. So what I may do is actually take some of this soil out. It's a process, y'all. I've never done this before, as far as like taking them apart and transplanting them. So we're gonna figure this out together. There we go. That's a nice clump right there. I will say also that because of all the rain we've had, that the soil is nice and moist. So pulling them apart is not so bad. There we go. I think this is gonna work. This is gonna work. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna be optimistic about this. There we go. Look at those beautiful roots. Once you get caladiums going, if you start them from corms, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now, you're gonna have to put on your patience pants, because it takes a good multiple weeks to get them sprouted and growing. So you cannot be impatient with your caladiums if you're gonna start them from corms. This is why so many times if I can get them already sprouted, then personally that's what I want. Oh, look at that. Now that's pretty. Look at that. Ta-da! I think this is gonna be good. So I know you may be thinking, well, Jenny, you already have the dark from the plum dandy. Why are you adding another dark foliage color to this arrangement? So my answer to that would be, it's gonna be a completely different texture, right? So the caladiums and the plum dandy are just gonna be drastically different in their structure and their habit in these containers. And so it'll bring a fun dimension to their arrangement. Midnight oil will be 12 to 14 inches tall. Yep. And it can do anywhere, it can go up to 8 to 12 hours of full sun. So that's perfect. And I think 1, 2, 3, I think I had 4 and 4. So that's going to be perfect as far as those corms. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take these, transplant them into this pot. I'm gonna go get the blower. I'm gonna blow off the porch, get the area clean, and then we're gonna go ahead and place them and kind of figure out how we're going to arrange these containers on the front porch. Okay, my friends, today's project is complete. It looks sweet. It's a little bit of fall sweetness here in the middle of August as we push fall to come as quickly as it possibly can here in the South. So yeah, I love it. It is right now, it is not a showstopper. Give me about 3 weeks and then it is going to be full and massive and stunning and gorgeous. Very symmetrical, right? Very balanced, and there you go. Now, as these babies grow, they are going to completely fill in with one another. They're going to look like basically one odd-shaped pot, one container, because the grass is going to go into the coleus. The coleus is going to get nice and thick and full. Your midnight oil, caladium, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's going to fill in this pot completely and get some height to it. Imagine like a foot of it, right? Your coleus is going to get taller as well, and then of course your plum dandy and then the 3 Mojave portulacas are going to fill in and cascade over, and it's going to look like one giant plant in that container. This is the beautiful thing about planting your annuals, your perennials. You can do this with anything, perennials, shrubs, annuals. You could do a combination of them. It does not matter. But when you do them like this, as far as like one plant per pot, it makes it so much easier to take care of them, because one, you could have a plant that has high water needs, high fertilizer needs, while you could have another plant that does not like a ton of water and does not like a lot of fertilizer. So I'm thinking that like the portulaca doesn't need a ton of water, the Blue My Mind of Ovulus doesn't want a lot of water, doesn't want a lot of fertilizer. So you can mix and match plants that you normally could not plant in a container together because of different water needs and fertilizer needs, but you can create that combo together by using them in individual pots and putting them together. Also, another great benefit, let's say my plum dandy just absolutely takes off, like it goes crazy, then I can move it to a different area. So I can rearrange this and have it look however it is that I want. So that's the great option. If you've never put monoculture containers, mono meaning one plant or one type of plant in a container, and then make a collection of different plants together, you ought to do it. It is great, it is easy, and yeah, so I think it looks sweet. It's going to look really great. It's going to take me into fall beautifully. As a side note, I am going to go ahead and take my midnight oils, and I am going to take these containers, move them up to the very back of the porch, because they were in the sun just for a minute and they were getting mad because I ripped their roots, you know, transplanting them. They were not very happy with me. So they're starting to do a little bit of a wilt. So in order to protect them and get them off to the best start that I possibly can, I am going to put them up against the porch so they can stay in the shade as much as possible. Do this for about, I don't know, 3 days or so, and then I can bring them out where they can get the afternoon sun. But not to say that they can't transition just how they are, but it certainly will be stressful on them because I did pull those roots, get hot, intense afternoon sun here, and the sun is creeping to me. In about an hour, they're going to be in the full sun. So this will just help them transition better, take the stress off. Also, as a side note, if these plants start going crazy, which they're going to, and I can't keep water on them, put saucers underneath them. So that will help you tremendously as far as going into, and you're not going to have to water 2 or 3 times a day. Maybe it's just 1 time a day, or maybe it's once every other day, or whatever have you. So there you go, my friends. A nice using summer annuals to take me into fall. Very excited about this. Of course, we'll keep you updated on their progress. If you have found this fun, informative, inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.